on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day. Got more information coming up, and this reminds me of kind of a video game back when I was younger on Atari, so it was really horrible. It was called Donkey Kong, and there was always the phrase, let's get it on like Donkey Kong. Now, of course, that can be taken a number of ways, but also from the standpoint of let's get going, let's do this. I kind of think that's what's going on right now. Now, obviously, we've got a lot of digital soldiers that are hopping on board, that are taking the pledge, that are standing up and basically saying, yes, I am going to support not necessarily the movement per se, but as much as our freedoms, as much as what the Constitution stands for. This isn't necessarily about Q. Q is just an avenue. Q is something that's happening. Q is hopefully an individual or an individuals in the military or in intelligence that are kind of trying to help lead this counter-insurrection that's currently occurring. So there's a lot going on. Obviously, a lot of the holds are being taken out. Facebook, we've got a nice little article about what they're doing to try to make things more difficult. And certainly, one of the things that was called out early on in a couple past posts that we're going to talk about, where it really did sort of illustrate that Twitter, Facebook, and all these places were going to become the battlegrounds. We're going to become the areas where war was going to occur, if you will. And that's, again, the digital soldiers. We've got our ones and zeros attacking their ones and zeros, and we've got facts and their opinions, and we're letting them all kind of work out in the middle. So it's a process. And all of us are a part of this. Where we go one, we go all. There's no one side that's better. We've got all these anons that are doing all this research and helping figure stuff out and coming up with stuff, and oddly coming up with some rather potent insults on the board, too. Not to me personally, just when you read through some of the stuff, you're like, oh, wow, geez, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, didn't you? Holy crud. But yeah, there's a lot of movements going on. We've got people that are talking about it. We've got people that are stepping up. We've got people that are writing and blogging. We've got people that are posting on Facebook, posting here. We've got some numbers that suggest that Q is becoming something that is being talked about larger and like huge, like it's exploding right now. Literally tomorrow, the numbers will be much more significant than even today. There's a big, big push that's going on. Where we left off, post 4524, good catch. Coincidence? Don't think so. You'll see in a sec. Important people understand for future events. Now, again, one thing I want to preface, the way you talk about this, I think, we'll find out, but I'm pretty sure, is the question. I'm not making any statements. I'm not saying this is happening, but I'm asking questions about what could potentially happen. Are these things that we should guard ourselves with? Again, how you phrase things sometimes can make a very large difference in being heard, being censored, any number of things. So sometimes be careful how you phrase. We're not telling people what to believe or think. We're asking questions that we're asking them to think about. That's kind of different. Thinking about something versus here's how you should think, very different. So it's important that people understand what's going on for future events. Assumption or intel-based? And that's the question. So, of course, this has been brought up on a few different occasions, brought up by a few different people. So there's probably some intelligence behind it. I don't know for sure. I'm not sitting on the intelligence, but I think that's the implication, and I think they want us to sort of try to share that avenue, is that we've probably got pieces in place that already know what's happening, that already know certain things are happening. So all assets are deployed, foreign and domestic. We've got some of the best spying equipment in the world. Obviously, the hammer was the one that Brennan was using against Trump and Obama was using against everybody. Roberts, the Supreme Court judge, right? This hammer thing. Well, that's out still running around. They're not supposed to use it to spy on people that are maybe running against you, which I doubt, I hope they're not doing. But you can use it for all sorts of other crazy stuff. And believe me, all it takes is just a little foreign connection, and those FISA things can still kind of happen. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff's going. Again, D plus China, it's all about November 3rd, folks. It's all about November 3rd. Who's in bed with China? Who's been in trouble with sons working for companies that are making billions of dollars? There's a lot going on between China's involvement in this country, what their hopes are, the fact that they want to become the number one superpower, and Trump coming in and basically saying, no, we're not going to continue doing this stuff that you guys started. We're going to do something different. And because of that, I think China's like, oh, don't want you in office, so now we're going to do everything in our power to keep you from getting reelected. So again, everything's out there, all the assets for it and domestic. So the question we're asking, Are they going to print millions of ballots on the exact same paper using the exact same machines? China. Wondering if China were to get involved or anybody wanted to try and create fake ballots, wouldn't all you need to do is get like some of that same kind of paper and print it? I mean, the government's got to buy that paper from somewhere, so no matter what, that paper, that stock exists someplace. Who's to say that paper couldn't accidentally end up somewhere else? Who's to say the machines that make that paper couldn't get maybe moved to another country and create this stuff from another location that's maybe not under such scrutiny as, say, companies here in the United States? Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of possible ways that things could happen. And if you had a bunch of fake ballots, and if you were to flood an area, say, for example, with a bunch of fake ballots, maybe it's an area that's contested, and oddly, somehow you had a whole bunch of additional millions of ballots showed up that all seemed to point in one general direction, well, you could change the election, couldn't you? So the question is this about the virus or the election? Again, here we are with surges coming back. The case numbers are going up, but the death count is fortunately staying rather flat, right? Going down, actually. Not even flat, it's going down. So we've got this case where a lot of people are being tested. A lot of people are coming back with positive results that they have the COVID antivirus or the retrovirus, right? It exists in there. And on top of that, the lowest number of deaths we've ever had. Now, I've heard in Dallas, or at least some of the stories that are going around from buddies I work with down there, that are telling me that maybe some of the ERs are full. So I don't know, the ICUs, and I guess they're expanding some of the other areas to create extra ICU beds. So again, stories are coming out. Is it about the election or the virus? Now, is this virus contagious? Absolutely. It's very contagious. Very contagious. But again, the mortality rate's been talked about a lot lately, and that seems to be coming into question from all the experts, CDC, the WHO. A lot of people are talking about it because the numbers are actually kind of coming down. In fact, just real quickly, and this is from the COVIDtracking.com data. It's a COVID project thing that started a while ago. Now, their death numbers are a little lower than the normal ones, but the normal ones have been sitting around 125 for a while, and I almost feel like they kind of rounded it up maybe a little, just to kind of, it's a better number. But whatever the case is, close enough for all intents and purposes. But we've got a number, 29 million tests have been done so far. 26 million tests are negative. So way most tests are negative, and the positive ones are starting to show and starting to grow. Yesterday there was, 100,000 difference almost. Well, 50,000, right? So there's this difference in the growing number of positive cases, but again, we're testing like insane numbers of people. So total tests, that went up almost 1 million. I thought we were doing almost 2 million a day. Is that low? 500,000 there. 500,000 a day. Still, doesn't seem like very many. Maybe it's because of what's going on, but even still, a lot of people being tested, especially in the areas that are being hard hit. So we've got a lot to consider. And the election was not rigged. All the polls demonstrated Biden's clear lead across the country. So what happens if China successfully duplicates or clones selected ballots from battleground states? What happens if coordination exists within select states to deliver printing and paper ballot receipts, or recipes, I should say, to the select foreign adversaries? Now, again, I'll be willing to bet these people have already been listened to. I'll be willing to bet these deals have already been made. Makes me wonder a few things, right? You got to wonder if there's a few things in place. One, I've talked about it. Obviously, you could do some sort of online voting. Would be probably a pretty easy thing to put together. And requiring a number of data points that would basically force you to prove who you are and that you're a citizen, just coincidentally, to be able to vote. And then you could vote, and that would be very easy to keep under control. Another thought, if we're going to go down the paper vote route, the fact that we've got military intelligence working on this project, I hope, wouldn't they be thinking this is going to come? Everybody knew this part of the playbook was coming. This was called out forever ago, right? As soon as COVID started becoming anything, this became a question. Is it about the election or is it about the virus? So again, wouldn't it be easy to maybe make a small recipe change kind of last minute right before you could and just make some sort of change that causes everything to anybody that's already pre-printed a bunch of crap, which again, if you're going to outsource stuff, you got to get it done early. You have to, because you got to ship it around, especially if it's going to China. They can fly it, I know, but whatever. You want to get ahead of it a little bit. So what happens if you magically make a change last minute? What happens if you pay real close attention at that point to any phone calls people make to foreign adversaries or foreign printing companies around the world, possibly. Right? Certain things to think about. But again, the important thing, they've got nothing to lose because, again, if they lose this election, they are done. They know it. They know it. They're done. Done. Dunskies. End of the game. If they win, they've got a chance to maybe turn this around, or God knows what happens at that point too. So again, let's try to keep that from happening. There's still going to be a rather odd fallout when Trump wins again. There's going to be a number of people that aren't happy about that either. So no matter what, coming up November 4th, it's going to be an interesting day, one way or the other. But let's at least make sure we're doing our part to get ourselves to the future we'd like to experience, rather than the future where essentially, yeah, Mad Max is like a dream. You wish it was Mad Max. I'm not going to play this link. It's a great link, and I already hear my brother yelling at me. But reason is it's YouTube. Can't play YouTube videos. YouTube does not like when you play YouTube videos on YouTube. They'll let me play videos from just about anywhere, news sources, all that different stuff, Twitter, they don't care. But here it matters. So whatever the case is, this is the part at 41, what did he say, 41, I recommend it, 41:45, and I'll put this link in there. It's a great video. It's the whole interview that Hannity did with Trump last night. At that point, which I already forgot again, 41:45, he talks about the big question of, what do you think about the election? So a gentleman stands up and says, how are you going to guarantee that our votes are going to be accurate and that the election's not going to be taken over? And Trump talks about a couple of the things. He talks about what they want to do with the paper ballots, how he thinks China and all these foreign adversaries are already trying to print up copies. Again, he's talking about this stuff. Now, Trump is frequently, when he talks about things like this, has generally had some knowledge in advance, and he talks about it a little wishy-washy, like it's not for sure, it's not guaranteed. But I can't think of a time where he's been wishy-washy like this on serious stuff. I mean, he did it with they're spying on me, a lot of things, right? Where he knew a lot more, and he's just sort of throwing it out there and seeing how it gets handled. So again, we've got people that are censoring information about this. I think we've got somewhere there's a story about Facebook doing that. Yes, actually it's coming up here in a moment. So yeah, we'll be talking about that. So again, the Sean Hannity thing, got the link below, talks about all that. It just confirms from the president's lips to our ears that yes, there is a concern about China being involved, certainly, and about possibly creating fake ballots, fake mail ballots. And then really, and if you think about it, once you got the stock, once you got the piece of paper, and once you know exactly what the doc's supposed to look like, it's not hard to fake it, right? You just got to make sure you get similar printing. It's really hard. It's not hard to do, I should say. 45:26, you have been selected to help serve your country. This is a slightly older post, not from very long ago. But you have been selected to help your country. Never retreat from the battlefield, which is Twitter, Facebook, etc., right? That's the battlefield, the digital soldier on the digital battlefield. Use other platforms as a form of centralized command and control. Organize and connect. So we want to bridge through linking, right? Bridge through these different sources and sites and try to get linking, because it starts to, if you embed links far enough, sometimes it can be a little hard for certain softwares to figure out what's going on. So source the meme material from Battlefield and or Garage, highlight, share, take and drop, all sorts of stuff, right? So the mission, we were talking about dispute, reject propaganda push through posting research and facts, again, push with facts, support role of other digital soldiers, so try to help all of the people that are trying to do their part in this, right? Guide or awaken others through the use of facts, again, trying to just, for me, it's more an issue of just being mindful that others are going to wake up. People will start asking questions. You'll catch people that'll be like, man, this just seems like this isn't like fair. It's not just quite right. And then that's someone who'd be like, oh, what do you mean? Like, start a dialogue. It sounds like they're asking questions. That sounds like someone that's starting to wake up. So when you find those people, start to ask questions. Give some facts. Try to help share what you know for sure, facts, and let them start to come to this, start to do their own research, because there's a lot out there. And once you start digging into it, once you go down the rabbit hole, oh my God, there's like a whole world down there. So again, identify strengths and weaknesses of the different people we're talking about, of the arguments and counter arguments. Again, there's a lot that's going into this. The master control program, that was part of the problem they had. They were very centralized in their managing of data in the movie Tron that they're referencing. So it was actually a choke point, and it was an easy way to slow things down. So a lot of these algorithms that are out there, or these AIs even, are kind of looking from a very centralized place, from a very central platform specific. But when you've got stuff that's linked from other places to other places, and it's hopping into all these different platforms, it becomes a lot more difficult for these algorithms to properly assess what's going on with them. Again, it's just an issue of trying to stay ahead. They'll figure out how to get better at this, trust me, and probably even before the election. But for now, this is definitely helping our situation, much like they use TikTok to take up seats for Trump's rally. This is similar. We're all just playing the game with the digital weapons that we've got. We've got a great little article here that's shared. So again, just keep in mind, daily attacks are normal. This is going to get worse and worse and worse. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are going to become more and more attacked, more and more referenced as the evil ones, the deplorables, all the crazy things, right? Like, again, this folks, family not talking to me right now. It is what it is. It's how it's going to play out for a period of time. We got to get through the election. We've got to do this for our country, do this for the Constitution, for the freedoms, for all of us, do our best to support this beautiful country that we all know and love. And I mean, that's what we've got to do our best. And here we are. So again, the battlefield and the missions. Think of the battlefield and the missions. Battlefield's going to be, of course, the digital frontiers. Facebook, Twitter, blah, 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 all that stuff. The Guardian is, again, it goes back to that centralized concept, the algorithms trying to just guard Twitter. But when you've got something posted that's referencing a meme, that's referencing another link, it can get very tricky for these algos to try to figure it out. So again, information warfare. We've got to have facts, got to make sure we can spread those facts, and we've got to be able to share them. And we've got a lot of really smart people that are figuring out how to get around stuff. So this is referencing this Julia Carey Wong. Beautiful little picture. I hope that's not her, because it looks a lot like a seal, but very cute seal. But I'm not a friend of hers, nor do I want to be. She might be a wonderful person. I'm sure she is, in fact, but I don't really care. So I'm not. I don't want to be. But fortunately, we've got friends in high places. Julia Carey Wong. Verizon just announced that it's pulling ads from Facebook following a letter from the ADL showing that its ads were running next to QAnon content. It just so happens to have published an investigation into the QAnon ecosystem on Facebook today. So again, down the rabbit hole, how QAnon conspiracies thrive on Facebook. Guardian investigations find more than 3 million aggregate followers and members support QAnon on Facebook. So yeah, they're going to try to shut down that whole movement there as well. And again, what happens when you start to censor things is you make it really interesting for a lot of people that don't quite understand why you're censoring it. So what it actually ends up doing is having a very bad effect towards your cause, which is we want to silence this movement, so we'll block you. And what you do is you end up just shining a bright spotlight on it, and more people look at the research, because when you start blocking it, people start to wonder why. You don't block Bigfoot stories. You don't block stories about UFOs. You don't block stories about flat Earth. But for some reason, the 17th letter of the alphabet and anonymous really bothers you. It's so strange. Almost like we're getting under your skin. Digitally speaking, of course. Like a digital sliver. It's really what that is. Digital paper cut. Because, you can't really cut yourself. Anyway. Wow. Another zero delta. 3 seconds. Dan is to blame. Sorry. I don't know which Dan they're talking about. I don't know if it's Dan Coates. I don't know if it's Dan Bongino. Pretty sure it's not Dan RadioStyle, but if it is, I'm really sorry. I don't think I'm the reason that Q and POTUS's posts were precisely 3 seconds apart. I mean, I'm sorry. I was tweeting at the same time. Up a storm. I mean, the server was crunching. So I don't know if that's I don't know which Dan that is. I tried to find it. Nothing really popped up. Whatever. Not sure. You guys probably know. I even looked at what the announcer said. Someone said, Dan, who's the dude? Him. Dan Rather. I'm like, I don't think Dan Rather knows. I don't think that's right. Might be. I don't know. Dan Bongino fits a little bit because he's got that new Twitter replacement account thing that's happening. He was Secret Service, right? So he's definitely got some knowledge. I don't know. I still wonder what's up with him. Anyway, we've got another great post here from, honor is yours. Nice meeting you. So 4528. Another from Oracle Exec, and he is sharing a wonderful picture. Wow, can't believe I got queued. This is so surreal. Q, it's an honor. I'm excited to serve my country in any capacity, anytime, and day, twice on Sunday. Word. America's the best country in the world. I love all my fellow countrymen and Anons worldwide. Thank you, sir. And that is really cool. Look at it. Very cool. I don't know exactly where you're at, but that is quite a patriotic place. What are we? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What if there's like 13 flags? I don't even know how many flags. There's a lot of flags over there. Unless that's like flag storage room that he broke into. Anyway, very cool. So A lot is going on. This movement's moving with power. We're picking up steam, as I told you at the beginning. This Q movement, although we're just a bunch of crazy wackadoos, right? A bunch of wackadoodles running around, it's picking up a lot of steam, picking up a lot of support. It's been brought up in a lot of places. There's a lot of people that keep getting mad that Trump hasn't done a nod to Q yet, but you've got to understand that hasn't happened yet, and it will in time. All of this is building up to the election. You cannot do things early. If you do it too early, you can screw everything up. Believe me, this is happening with military precision. There are times where I swear I think the left is literally either A, trying to hurt themselves, or B, just not. Like, they are either so arrogant they can't see what they're doing because it's becoming very obvious to a lot of people. A lot of people. I've got people that are pretty left-leaning that are friends that I hide my beliefs from, that seriously are starting to change their tune. It is really weird. So again, a lot is happening. I think there are things to be positive about when you listen to the news, when you listen to the polls, when you listen to a lot of the stuff that's out there. It sounds dire. Why do you think that is? They want it to sound dire. They want it to sound dire. They want to try to shut down this movement. They basically want to put some friggin' duct tape over our mouths so they can get through this election without all this hullabaloo that we keep causing. You know, facts. Remember, keep sharing them. Keep creating the memes. Keep fighting the good fight. Keep being kind. And when they're ready to wake up, when someone's ready to wake up, give them that olive branch. Offer them help. Reach out with your hand and help them up. We're all Americans. Even the ones that are having a hard time waking up. They're still part of our country, part of our family, and we are fighting for them too, even though they don't realize it. Where we go one, we go all. It's on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.